One of the greatest life lies that I tell myself is that I need to be ready in order to start. Maybe I convince myself that I need more skills or a better plan or more money in the bank to take the leap. The problem is that ready is a subjective idea. It's different for everybody. And in fact, we can use the idea of ready just to delay the hard work it's going to take to do the thing that we say we want to do. So I'm going to talk about the 4 things that I've learned about starting way before you're ready. But first, a story of how I lost everything, and that's how I learned these 4 principles. In the recession of 2009, I was holding a lot of properties. We were building some, we were converting some into condos, and we were selling them. It seemed like pretty much overnight, the value of all of these properties were cut in half. My wife and our daughter at the time, we lost everything. I mean, not everything, I say everything, but all of our physical possessions. We lost the house that we built. We lost our cars. We went bankrupt pretty much overnight. We were over leveraged and undereducated to ever be in the real estate market, let alone the craziest real estate market that we've probably ever experienced in the United States. I had no idea what I was doing, and I was chasing money. After that, we rented a condo. We bought an old Volvo wagon that I loved and Katie hated. She said it looked like a hearse. And I got a crappy job that I absolutely hated. And every day I was thinking, how am I going to dig myself out of this hole? How am I going to get back to a place where I feel like I'm making progress again? So I was making up all sorts of things about how I need to be ready. Then I remembered how much I loved telling stories on video. I had absolutely no idea if this could be a career that could actually sustain my family, but I was bound and determined to find something meaningful to do. Also, I had decided that I was never going to do anything just for money again. That's what had got me into this mess in the first place. So I borrowed money from my mom to buy my first camera. I didn't even have money to buy the camera. I was not ready, but I was following something that I knew I could make happen, something that I really believed in. So I bought the camera and I did everything I possibly could to film anything I was in. Then I found a mentor in Southern California that I really wanted to learn from. By this time, we had traded in the Volvo for a Scion XB. I lovingly refer to it as a refrigerator on wheels. There's literally zero room in there. And we had had our second child. We decided at that moment that we were going to move to Southern California to learn from this mentor and to hopefully partner from him. We were not ready. There was zero proof that we were going to succeed. The plan was dismal. The skills were non-existent and the dollars were nowhere to be found. But we just started. We packed up the Scion XB, put our little girls in the back, fit as many of our belongings into it and tied on top of it as we possibly could. And we drove from Utah to Southern California. And this mentor, this partner, this friend allowed us to move into his 2-bedroom apartment with him and his family while we got started. I became a partner in that business with him. We grew it really fast. It became something significant. We started working for really big brands, telling their stories on video, but that's another story for another time. The point is, it was from this experience that I learned 4 truths that are truth for me about starting before you ever feel ready. So truth number 1, you must act as though you have nothing to lose. What I've noticed is as we get more established and get more possessions, what we want to do is we want to protect that. We aren't as willing to take risks and start new things because we don't want to lose what we've worked hard for. So the things that are calling to us, the things that we're attracted to, the adventure that we want to take, we're unwilling to do that because we might lose what we've already gained. You must be willing to lose it in order to gain what it is you really want. This channel is an example of that. I've been putting this off, talking about my life experience and the things that I've learned for a really long time, thinking that I wasn't ready yet, that the concept wasn't right, that I needed more time and maybe even a little bit more money. But when we act like we have nothing to lose, we can take that risk. Not irresponsibly. We can take the risk responsibly. Principle number 2, I could have never planned the journey that I went on. It took stepping in, taking action, jumping off the cliff in order to learn what I needed to learn to make the thing a success. There's no way I could have stayed in that bedroom in that condo and planned out every step that it was going to take in order to make that business or make my skills successful. I had to act. There will never be a sufficient plan for what it takes and for the action that's needed. Number 3, when we wait, it becomes too late. Opportunities pass. When I think about this story and the moment that we hit the market as video creators, it was this incredible moment where social media was taking off, video on the internet was becoming accessible to everybody, and the equipment, DSLRs, little cameras, could make beautiful cinematic imagery. It was the perfect timing, the perfect storm for us to combine the luck of what the market was doing and the equipment that was available and our hard work to combine those two and to make something magic happen. If I would have waited, that moment, that opportunity, the way we experienced it, would have passed. Finally, number 4, success comes from being committed to it, not from being ready. I could have had the best plan. I could have had all the money in the world. I could have had all the skills that I needed in order to be successful. But if I wasn't committed to it, there's absolutely no way it would have succeeded in the way that it did. Now, the opposite is also true. If I'm committed, but don't have the plan, the skills, or the money, I will figure out how to get them. And in fact, I'm not even sure what it's gonna take yet. I'm not even sure what resources I'm gonna need. So the commitment to the thing is what is actually needed in order to make it a success. If I'm committed to it, like absolutely I'm going to make this work no matter what challenge I'm up against, this is mine, then I'll figure all of those other things out. It was because of my commitment that I was willing to borrow money from my mom when I didn't have any and be able to pay her back in a very short couple of months. It was because of my commitment that I was willing to put my family in a tiny car, drive across 2 states, and live in a 2-bedroom apartment with another family in order to make this thing happen. It was the commitment that drove me to go introduce myself and put myself out in the marketplace that eventually allowed us to land some of these really big, profitable contracts. It wasn't because of my skill, my readiness, the plan, or the money that I had. So my friend, the biggest lie we tell ourselves about starting is that we need to be ready. So I have a couple questions for you. What's that thing that you've been waiting to be ready to start? What are you making up that needs to happen before you can start it? Are you willing to start way, way, way before you're ready? Are you willing to start today? What's the first step?